Hello, does it work now? My computer jumped off. Look, I need a new computer.
Yeah, I was like, I just got me a new computer. Well, Lynette got me a new computer, so.
I need it so badly.
Yeah, she got me a desktop because I'm trying to write this dissertation. So
good luck.
And yeah, I'm working on it, man. So we'll see.
I just keep on getting more degrees. It's A Velez dot. What is it?
A-L Velez to.
Oh, that's what I messed up.
Illinois.
There it is. All right. No, I'm getting a graduate certificate in innovation and disruptive entrepreneurship.
That sounds dope. That's something that I might do in the future.
Anyway, it's all online, so I'll show you the link. It's a new it's a new program out of the business school, and they were looking for people. And I was like, I might as well just do it since I get free tuition and do all that shit now.
Because of you're a grad student, right?
Yep, a grad student. Then I get since I teach a class, they give me a tuition waiver.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Yeah, me too. I have a fellowship, but I work as an instructor too.
You know how they pimp us.
Yeah, man, I do so much for the fucking college.
I know.
I do so much, man.
And you know, if you don't do it, someone else won't. Well, you know what I mean?
Hey, look, I ain't even mad at them. I mean, I see it. You know, they're pimping me for now, but you know, I hope that I can, you know, take this little pimping for a little bit, so I could fucking make something of myself in the future.
Oh, whatever. You're already something of yourself already.
Let me see. All right.
And then I will send you this. I'll put it in the chat. This is the program I'm in right now. Oh damn! Did it? Why did? Sorry. Let me just. Why is it doing that? There you go. It's doing it all weird. Hold on.
So in regards to my company, I'm thinking I don't have a company, right? But I work at a university, so it's more like an institution. Does that matter?
Which one? Yeah, it doesn't matter because I'm just trying to. It's just like it's informational interviews about what's going on in society. Do you see what I have to answer? You see the questions?
Yeah, I see them.
Hold on. So let me just start asking you. And
okay.
Just talk on the top of your head. That's all you have to do.
Yeah. I just, go ahead. You can record. I'll give you permission to use my information for your class.
All right. Yeah, and of course this is due at, of course, what time? In an hour or so.
He's doing an hour?
Of course, doing at 12. I got to get like 4 more real quick. I'll be all right.
Okay. Let's do something quick then.
All right. These are 5 questions, and I'm looking at the ways that companies are looking at diversity and inclusion and these are just questions just to get me thinking about ways how to make this better for companies and all that other stuff. So what was your reaction after the George Floyd protest and the Black Lives Matter protest about people of color, especially Black people in society? What was your just general reaction?
Well, as a historian, I'm not surprised that this type of systemic racism and injustice against Black people and other marginalized communities continue to happen. We understand that we are a threat in the society, at least we're perceived as that. And I myself have experienced similar encounters with the police.
Talk about it.
Being stopped while Black, right? Given that I'm an Afro-Latino, or I consider myself a Black Puerto Rican, I have seen how the police often react to me driving, right? Last year alone, I was stopped 4 times for no apparent reason. And it's just that systematic violence that we have experienced, and the response, just the whole case with George Floyd, right? The violence of a man who is surrounded by police officers, and you continue to keep your knee in his neck for 7 minutes, right? While officer of color is there watching, right? So we were still there you
We were
know,
still there.
and we were there as participants, right? Uh, of this violence that was perpetrated by the police, right? So I guess when we talk about Black Lives Matter, I mean, what we're signifying is that Black Lives Matters too, right? There's a silent too at the end of Black Lives Matter, right? We're not saying that other lives do not matter, right? But that our lives should matter as much as everybody else's.
No, you hit that. That's right on, brother.
Right? And in that regard, the reaction of Black Lives Matter was that.
No, you hit it.
Um,
You
and
nailed it. You nailed it.
yeah, and at the end of the day, Black Lives Matter was founded by 3 Black women to bring attention to these issues that have been perpetuated for a long time. We're just having a modern version of what a social movement will look like in the age of social media.
That's brilliant. Thank you, man. What is happening at your company? Meaning, just look at your university since the Black Lives Matter protests.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of student organizations that have been very active, particularly in, because we have a Black Lives Matter chapter in the Champaign-Urbana area. When that happened.
That's really a good school. You guys got that's a really good school you're at too.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. And what we see is that, the administrators jump at it quickly, right? But, there's something taking place where, okay, yes, you are putting these messages, this saying this is wrong, but you still have only like 5-6% of your student body is Black, right? 1-2% of your faculty is Black, right? So the institution itself is perpetuating violence against Black people because there were almost as much students in the 1970s than there today at the institution, right? The enrollment is still almost the same.
Wow.
And you can see that as Harvard, the same. You can see many of these Ivy Leagues and public Ivies still have similar enrollment than they had in the 1960s and 70s, right? Mm-hmm. So yes, you are saying that Black Lives Matter, but you still don't have them on campus, right? But yeah, it seems like it's surface level, and it's hypocritical.
Wow, that's powerful, brother. What do you think about BIPOC and other minorities' current experience in here at the company, and does your company correlate that what's happened in society? So do they see it as a chance to make some changes?
Well, the thing with organizations like in higher ed, like they tend to be very slow moving, right? And given that faculty, for example, have tenured, we cannot force faculty to engage in this process, right, to ensure that Black students and other people of color are safe, right? So in that regard, the union, and well, not the union, but the tenure protects them, and we cannot force them to do anything in that regard, right? We can suggest, but what I will say is that faculty of color and staff of color, and particularly Black faculty, have stepped forward and stepped up like they always do, or that we're mentored and that we have a space for us to air our feelings and our grievances, and they're there to support us along the way. So yeah.
That's good, man. You're giving me good stuff. And the last question is, what areas do you think the best areas in improving the company's image in equity, diversity, belonging, and inclusion? What do you think they should do?
I think something that we've been asking since the student movements era and Black Power, the recruitment of more faculty and staff of color. Make sure that we have, I also think that the investment in police is necessary.
Wow.
And rearticulating we have the largest department the university have the largest police department between the two cities, right?
Oh my God.
So the university have more police officers than the cities itself, right? So, reorganizing that and ensuring that we have more support for students of color, creating spaces for them, and to ensure that, they're retrained or get fired, because we should not have those type of policing in colleges and universities. And at the end of the day, I mean, just making sure that we put some percentage of the money to fund Black students, financial aid and
That's a good solution.
But I'll leave it at that because I know you have all this stuff. But
no. This is all these. We're just doing a drive through of what's going on, and then I'm supposed to go take it back and hear everybody what they write, and then try to come up with some other stuff. All right. Are you around tomorrow? You want to just hit me up tomorrow so we can talk about what you want to do at Georgia State?
Yeah, I'm around tomorrow. Just hit me up. I'll hit you up whenever, whenever I get a chance, and we can definitely shop it up.
Okay, I'm available starting from I think 3 to 4, 3 to 5. I'm available.
I'll link up at that time then.
Yeah, you can just hit me on Zoom or Google Docs or whatever.
All righty. All right, brother.
Thank you. Where's Lynette?
Mira, te están llamando.
Hey!
How you doing, future Dr. Grant?
Oh my Lord! I picked up another degree. Oh, I gotta send you guys my my website. I just did.
Ooh,
yeah,
yes,
so I did a teaching website. So
no.
So that's one thing to get on the market. I'll send it to you guys. Please.
Yeah, you can text it to me. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah, thank you. It's in a work in progress, but I'm just trying to get this stuff done so I can get out of here.
And we all.
and Chip, just to give you a heads up, we're both first generation high school and college graduates and doctoral. Well, I'm a doctoral student, 3rd year at U of I, and Angel's a PhD candidate at U of I.
That's a hard program to get into, you guys know.
Yeah.
We definitely realize that. But thank God we have each other's support during this crazy graduate school journey. Because as you know, very intimately, the struggle is very real. I mean, you've been in your doctoral journey at least 7 years.
Yep, I'm on my 7 now.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get out by next year, but it's been real good. Some good resources came during this COVID time, so.
Right.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I know you have Link Johnson in the.
You guys know Link. You met Link before. Link, what's up? Link.
Sorry, I was on mute. What's up?
Link just had surgery on his leg.
Hey. Hopefully you heal. Fast healing.
Yeah, this is 10th surgery on his leg.
Good.
He's used to this.
It's actually going pretty good.
Look at that.
It looks good.
Why the surgery?
The prosthesis they had in there came loose, and so they had to take it out and put a longer, bigger one in there. Yeah. It's just a nightmare. It's just something I've been going through for 10 years.
Okay. Sending love and light.
Wait up. Link, is that your bed in your house?
Uh-huh.
Who paid for that bed?
I did. I did.
It's a mechanical bed?
No, it's one of my I couldn't go upstairs for a while, so I had to get a nice bed downstairs to recover in. I had 4 or 5 surgeries in this bed, so I love this bed. I would never it's gonna fall apart before I stop sleeping on it because it has gone through about 7 or 8 surgeries with me.
Look at that.
Wow.
What type of bed?
It's just a flat platform bed, but it's nice. It's got the white leather, and you can move the backboard. So if I want to sit sideways,
that's what I noticed.
Can sit to the side, or I can sit with my back looking at the TV or looking this way. It just depends on. but I could move it around 360.
Hey now. Awesome.
Hey, Link got his he's Dr. Lincoln Johnson. He got his doctorate like 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So I know the struggle.
I'm at the end of it, so hopefully I'm applying to jobs right now, so hopefully that manifests soon. So
yeah, it's
all right.
It actually does what they say. You know, it has opened a lot of doors for me. You know, more so I've had a lot of opportunities from having my doctorate. It really fulfilled what it was supposed to for me. You know,
definitely that's my hope.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it was good talking to you.
Yeah, you too.
We're gonna do tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll link up.
Thank you.
Yep.
Oh, sitting watching football.
Thanks, man. I got to, this shit's due, and I didn't do anything.
I know how it is.
So I want you to talk from the jail side, all right? What was your reaction of George Floyd? What was your reaction from George Floyd and Black Lives Matter when it all happened?
Well, I mean, working in the jail system and with law enforcement, for me, it's just become a normal thing. It's what I have become accustomed to. We either get mass incarcerated or we get murdered in the streets.
Ouch.
You know, it's no other options. You know, this no longer a false dichotomy, like this real thing of you either are dead or in jail.
What is happening at the jail or your company because of George Floyd?
I think for me in the California system, which is the largest in the world, largest incarceration system in the world, what is happening is you're getting this pushback from law enforcement to justify why they do it, to justify that Black and brown people commit most of the crime, and in order to make white people feel safe, you have to murder them or put them in prison.
Wow, you just killed it, dude. It's gonna be 3 minutes. Yeah. What was your reaction of your coworkers, upper management?
They did nothing to support anything mattering. In fact, they doubled down on All Lives Matter, that Black Lives Matter. It was a political statement that was steeped in racism, and we shouldn't feel that way because everyone matters, even though our data and the numbers don't show that.
What do you think BIPOC and other minorities' current experience here in the company? Does the company correlate that to what happens in society? Are they asking what do other Black employees in your company feel about just being Black in the company?
Well, there's just a few of us, and it's a disappearing act. People like me who perceive things like I do are ostracized and punished severely for relatively small things. So that shows the others to go in line with what they think, to not make waves and not rock the boat. Be part of what they're saying, because if you value your job and you value being able to have a career and come to work, then you won't come in there with any threats to their existence.
Threats to their existence.
Yes, it's a disappearing act is what I call it. You have to come in there and be non-cultural. You have to fit with the dominant culture, which is really not the dominant culture, but a behavior that is perpetuated inside my industry, where you're apolitical, or if you are political, you're a Trump supporter or something, something that shows that you're an outlier is the word I'm looking for. You have to show that you're an outlier. I'm a Black person, but I am a Republican, or I'm conservative, or I support Trump, or I support law and order, or at the very least, if I don't believe those things, I will never speak that in position.
Wow. What I'm gonna continue on that is, what areas do you think the best areas to improving your company's image in equity, diversity, belonging, and inclusion? Is there a way to improve it, or there's not a way?
I think that the only way to improve it in my industry is to require officers to have some higher level of education. You have people with high school diplomas and GEDs that are in control of other humans. They don't have the critical thinking skills. They have not expanded their worldviews. They got out of high school and they started being police officers. And so they don't have a view of the world. As to be a teacher, it took me years of school and graduate school to become a teacher. For a person to become a nurse or a person to become any of these professional jobs, you have to have certification and go through school. Cops only need 12 weeks of training on how to use their weapons. And that's what it's focused on. There's no, I've taken educational psychology maybe 6 or 7 times in my years as an educator, the same class, over and over again. Every time something new comes up, I have to learn something new to figure out how to deal with students who are coming in with different challenges. Cops do 12 weeks of how to use a baton, how to use a taser, how to restrain somebody, how to take control of, it's going to be 200 of you, and here's how you divide and conquer 1,200 of them so that you can run the system. And so I think the only way to fix my industry is they need a higher education. There needs to be a BA in law enforcement or some kind of certification, a credential you can get in order to be the warden of an institution or an associate warden or chief deputy warden. You only have to take 2 3-unit classes at a community college.
Wow.
Administration of justice classes, 2. So they sit in 2 3-unit classes, and then they could be a sergeant, lieutenant, associate warden, chief deputy warden, or the warden. And that's all it requires is those 6 years.
Seems like they wrote the rules for themselves.
Yes, to make it easy for themselves. They come in at 22, retire at 50 with a $100,000 salary for the rest of their lives and medical.
Wow.
But have been beating people and mistreating people and withholding racial, ideologies all that time,
Wow.
sexual
really
abuse, all of that.
Because I have you, someone from the prison system, and I also just had somebody from the college system, and now I'm going to have somebody from the airline system, my cousin, here. D, where are you at? D, get up, you ugly.
What up?
So ugly. You got a big old head like the rest of the family.
Yeah, all right. Ugly, that's not even.
Are you 29 yet?
I am 29.
He's in LA, Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm in Boston right now.
Okay.
Trying to become
you in the cold. You're not down here with the warmth.
No, I'm not. I'm in Boston at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll be in LA soon though.
Yeah. I grew up down there. I live in Mojave right now, but I'm moving back down early next year because I'm just tired of being in the middle of nowhere. I'm tired of being in Trump country. I'm really tired of this country, Chip. I want to leave. I'm up in the desert. I'm up past Palmdale and Lancaster.
Oh, okay.
Near Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah.
Bakersfield's nice.
Bakersfield is nice, but it's Trump country. It's conservative, white, where it's what I'm talking about. It's that disappearing act where I'm a black man, but I need to behave like I'm come from dominant culture.
I just did a study on Bakersfield. Rent is pretty affordable. Am I right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, but it's Bakersfield. It's at least 2 hours away from LA.
No, it's landlocked, kind of dusty, kind of rednecky.
Yeah, I have a friend from Bakersfield. She's black, and yeah, I could never live there. It's the desert.
Chip, Bakersfield is so white that if I had a black girlfriend in Bakersfield, they'd look at us funny.
Wow.
It would be a thing. We'd walk into the mall or to have dinner with me and Keisha used to go up there. They would look at us like, y'all ain't from here, right?
Wow. I did a report about places where the housing and the jobs were pretty available.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It came out as it was kind of out of the it was out of weird. It just popped up.
Yeah.
Bakersfield. Also, another place is really good places. What do you call that place where Prince is from?
Minneapolis?
Yes.
Yeah, I got 2 of my very best friends live in Minneapolis. They're a couple. They were high school sweethearts, and they sold their house in Compton and took their money to Minneapolis. They live in a beautiful home on a lot of land, and both are successful,
Yeah, that's what my study found that that those are some of the places where people can live comfortably.
Yeah.
And there's a readily amount of jobs available.
Excuse me, y'all. They put the damn tube in my nose, so now it's running and bleeding and shit.
It's gross.
Oh, why you had COVID?
No, he just had surgery on his leg. Well, he had to do the test before that.
You said what?
He just had surgery on his leg.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You got to do all the
Yeah.
damn.
And then they preemptively put you on a ventilator in surgery, which is weird too. And that shit just bothers me. The staying all the way up the nose bothers me, and then the ventilator and the oxygen drying my throat out. That's got to be a horrible existence for people.
Was the oxygen? Did it feel good to have a lot of oxygen in you?
No, it was drying my shit out. My sinuses were dried out, like rocks, you know.
Yeah.
And it was so uncomfortable. I hated it. And my throat, the ventilator just made my throat hurt because they just do you wrong. They got to get a ventilator down your throat.
That's right.
They don't care about how they do.
They're gonna keep on charging up the insurance company. Got these ventilators you got to use.
Yes. I said, lady, why did my throat hurt? She said, because you got a ventilator in your mouth.
Damn. Don't even tell me what you're doing to me, huh?
Right.
Like, you want to hear what D's responses?
No, yeah, sure. I
ready?
remember watching the Rams and 49ers.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, the first question, talk about your airline stuff, right? This is personally for you. What was your reaction after the George Floyd and the protest of Black Lives Matter and people of color and Black people in general? What was your general reaction?
I think I was more just like kind of numb to it again. Like I just was like, damn, they just keep shooting us. And then it's also just like, I don't know, I'm pretty realistic. So just knowing of what past situations have been and like nobody getting justice for the other situations, I'm like, we're probably not going to get it again. I mean, of course I was like infuriated, upset. Also, I'm applying to school right now. So it was like, just like more drama on top of like me already having to deal with stuff. So it's just like a really annoying. I just really, like, I guess as you get older, you just really realize like they don't care about you in America, especially Black men.
Ouch.
I mean, that's like that James Baldwin quote, right? Like that's literally how I feel. You just get more infuriated every day when you realize like they really don't care about us, and like the system is made in a way that we're not supposed to like progress. So if we do progress, it's like, oh, that's cool and all, but like there's still there's more of us that don't. So it's like kind of not fair. But after George Floyd got shot, I mean, like, I didn't want to watch the video. It's already toted all around my Instagram and all my timelines. I don't like watching the videos anymore with people getting shot and killed that are Black, because I just feel like as numb as I am to it, it still is a thing, and it like still is traumatizing. And I already knew that the cops weren't going to get arrested. And I also just thought like they didn't need 3 cops to do that job. And also my parents were cops and one is still a cop. And I feel like, like the way they handle stuff or the way they would have handled it, I think they would have been different. So I just like, clearly it was a racist issue, which it always is. And it just was annoying, really. I was more so annoyed by it than anything.
That's some good self-discovery in there as well. What is happening at your own company? You're still at the airline, correct? Furloughed?
Yeah. So to be honest,
you can just talk about what has happened, like what you think. It doesn't have to be like.
So I'm very pro-Black, right? So like any white person, any person that has anything to say that's not on the path I find to be right is gonna get an air full of like, you're wrong. So my job tried to give us they try to send out like the little the message board of like, George Floyd, this thing, we're feeling bad kind of situation. Sorry to those of you this might affect. Cool. My airline is very white. It's Alaska Airlines. It's a very white airline, Seattle based, like a lot of Seattle people, a lot of Alaska people. Like there are just a lot of white people that I just like could never, I think it's a very more Republican company than it is Democratic. If it were to go down, I don't think it would go down the middle, but that's like kind of it. It wasn't any more of anything after that. I think they might have done some I think they did something for BLM, like on our message board when you first get on the website, like you can click and read more about it. But I honestly am very not a part. Like I don't really be that involved in my job because I don't care about it. So there's that. I was going to say that in the beginning of this whole thing. I did preface.
No, it's cool. I'm just trying to figure out what they've been telling you. It'd be good to see that resume and all that. Link, he doesn't let me fly for free. My cheap ass cousin. He's so fucking an asshole.
First of all, you've never asked.
Right? He's a fucking asshole.
Let's stop there because you've never asked.
All he does, he goes to the club with me, makes me buy him food and drinks. That's all he does.
He's right about Alaska Airlines. You got to be willing to go to Alaska, Portland, Seattle,
Yeah,
San Francisco.
I don't give a
maybe.
fuck. I'll just fly just to
I
just
mean,
to fly.
I
Put my
came from
name on the
Virgin
damn
America.
list. Put my name on the
came
damn
from-
list. Put me down as your father. Shit, they won't know. They're all white.
Actually, that might actually not, that could work. But I think the one I picked wasn't my dad one. I picked the other one where it's like I pick a friend. But I can check again because I think I might be able to do that when I think about it. Because it's coming back up in November, but we'll talk about that when I see you at the end of the month. Also, I came from Virgin America, so like that company was very liberal and like very like it was just very diverse and way more like accepting of people and all things. And now I'm at this like really white, used to be Bible toting like company where they used to have prayer cars on the first class seats. Like we came in and it's like the idea of like the thought of it was like they were very like a lot of the old women were like, oh, it's like we're the old moms and we're getting like these young wild teenagers coming into our company and we don't like that. So there was already that kind of situation. So I'm already imagining like these Black Lives Matter issues don't matter to a lot of white people in these things. And they always the question of like, well, what do they do and stuff like that. And it's just like, yo, like it doesn't even matter. So I haven't had any talks with anybody about the Black Lives Matter stuff. Actually, that's a lie. So I stopped working in March and I was like on COVID leave, and then I just been on leave for the entire time. So during the protests and all that stuff, like I didn't even go to work, but we have Facebook message groups and Facebook boards. And actually a friend of mine that is white that was trying to say like Blue Lives Matter, I basically had to put her in her place on Facebook. So I like went in on detail and gave her every little detail of how she was wrong. And then kind of just like checked her. I've done that on like 2 message boards. Other than that, I haven't done it since. But I'm just like, if any, white person has an issue, they can definitely contact me.
Reaction of your coworkers and upper management, really cleanly.
Wait, say that again.
You answered the third question already. What was the reaction to your coworkers and upper management?
That was my reaction. Upper management barely had it. Like they just gave us the, we're sorry type of. It was like the whole company send out the email. It wasn't really like a specific individual, like the Black people that pinpoint them and like try to get them, talk to them especially. But yeah, my reaction to anybody that was out of term that I felt was out of term was, you can get all this action. Because I just was like, basically, like, I don't really like typing on Twitter and Facebook. I don't like going back and forth.
You're such a Cambridge kid. Oh my God, you're so Cambridge.
Yeah, I don't really like the Twitter thugging and like the back and forth stuff. So I just prefer to like tell you to your face. And so I couldn't do that. So I had to say what I felt like in that place. But it wasn't really like to be negative. It was more so just like, you're wrong and this is why you're wrong. And you're sitting here talking about like Blue Lives Matter, my parents are cops. And no, I still think we need to defund these niggas. So what are you saying? So it's like, yeah, that was kind of the conversation that happened there. But I really did. Other than that, I think a lot of other coworkers were actually very like supportive of the responses that I was giving, and also just supporting like the Black Lives Matter movement. So like the people that came from Virgin America, a lot of them were like BLM and like doing all these things on the Facebook post boards, and then there would be like the Alaska prayer group board that like people were getting kicked out of if they were talking about Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And it's just kind of like that's like negative and all this kind of stuff.
Can you shoot deer with Sarah Palin from your plane?
I don't know, maybe.
He shoots deer from helicopters up in Buffalo and all that. She does.
Who does?
Sarah Palin.
Oh, from helicopters? That's not even fair. That's cheating.
That's what they do.
They do cheat. They're very big cheaters.
Have you met Sarah Palin or any of her family members? Because it's on Alaskan Airlines or never.
No, I haven't. Thank God. But I don't even if I did see her. I have been to Alaska. I've been to Sitka and I've been
What'd you think?
Nice. I mean, I only went for like overnight. It was I usually get there like one time I got there at like 10 at night or 11 at night, and you had to take a ferry from the airport across the water to where we were staying. And it was like, they're pretty nice. And then I left. And then another time I went to Alaska, it was nice as well. Like, I don't really go out and about in Alaska. It is very white though. And I've met like one person that was like, that was at a bar, and they were from the Navy or the Army. So it was kind of just like, oh, so you like, I was like, you're the only black person in here, like, because it was the only black other person in the bar. And he was like, yeah. I'm like, how do you live here? Because it's white as hell. But I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have no point, you don't have no choice because you're stationed there, right? But
You're so
it was very white.
You're so Cambridge. Oh my God. Like he's
Till
so
I die.
he's like, I'll give you my opinion no matter what.
Pretty much. That's how I feel. I don't really care. Like I'm very fight the man. That's my MO kind of. I'm very against like all things that are not for the people. So even if it's my job and I don't like the rules, I'm gonna speak on it. If I get fired, I'm gonna get fired. But at least I spoke my opinion. So that's usually how I am.
Get fired before you're 30. After that, it's a problem.
Right. Well, I'm not 30 yet, but also I think just because of the fact that I'm not like in medicine yet, so I don't really care about any other job besides the one I really want to do.
I hear you. So, did you have to? You don't have to take the test, right? The GRE and not the GRE.
I already took it, so I'm just waiting for my results. But I'm also applying to school at this moment right now. What?
They're not taking the scores, are they?
They're like, well, my homegirl, one of my friends, like, she has some like connections at a school, and so she was telling me that the school is like
not taking them.
Viewing things very holistically. They're not really.
You don't have to put them in if you don't want to.
No, you do have to put your scores in. But like what they did was let people apply to medical school without taking the MCAT, and then they just like wait. You have to take the MCAT by a certain date, and if you don't take it by this date, then you just have to wait for the next cycle. So like usually you couldn't even apply to medical school without the scores. So now you can apply, but you have to still send in your scores. But according to my friend, they're still looking at applications very holistically, and they're not looking at like, okay, your MCAT score is just not good, so we're just not gonna pick you. I think they're more so thinking about like COVID, also like Black Lives Matter, all these protests. Like the world's very polarized. Like a lot of black kids are probably more affected than anybody that are applying to medical school, so we should probably look at them because America is showing its ass right now. Also, we don't have black people in medicine. So we probably should really try to get those in there because there's studies coming out showing us that black people are dying because we don't have black doctors.
Did you apply to Emory? Are you thinking about applying to Emory?
I did not apply to Emory, actually.
You know, Rick Jarvis is down there. Rick Jarvis' son. He's 20.
My homegirl from Howard went to Emory, and then she's an anesthesiologist at Emory right now.
He likes it. I really enjoyed going over there. It's kind of mixed a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, she likes it too. I applied to Morehouse though. So.
Oh, good. Well, Morehouse now has that. Did you read that? $100,000.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Each
HBCU
got like a certain amount of money.
Yeah, I know that the vice president for administration there. He went to college with me.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Well, we should go meet him when I come.
You owe me food. You owe me food.
I'll owe you food, drinks, and a plane ticket. We go meet this admissions man. What you mean? I'm trying to be a doctor. I need all the connections. It's about who you know. You feel me?
Oh God, shut up! You hear these little young people?
It really is.
Like, you hear all these young people try to throw out stuff they heard.
That's what they heard. We heard it from older people.
Right in the house, talking and just be texting. That's all they're talking about is network and be sitting in the house. Don't want to go nowhere.
No, I'm gonna be out there, but y'all not really safe in Atlanta. Y'all don't even wear no mask.
Oh, shut up!
I'm just saying. Yeah. So.
All right.
But yeah, I'll be out there though.
And the last question I have is, what areas do you think the best areas of improving your company's image in equity, diversity, belonging, and inclusion? What do you think what areas do you think they should be able to improve if you had the money to do so?
That's a good question. And not has it, I guess. I mean, they pay pretty well. Maybe more diversity, like training and like sensitivity trainings. I think that I think that flight attendants, all in all, are pretty like. No, there's a lot more flight attendants that are like cool with each other and like, oh, we have to work together, so we're just gonna be like fun. Because a lot of the time it's just like it's fun. But there also is still the Bettys and the Beckys that like have their very white like views. and will have no problem putting them on you and doesn't even realize that they're doing some shit that's ignorant. So I think some more sensitivity training, because actually I did have an instance where this white girl was like talking about shopping in by Crenshaw at the Target, and how like she was afraid. And I'm like, why? Don't nobody care about your white ass walking through Crenshaw? Like, it's just like she's like, well, it's like a bad area. I'm like, is it? Because I don't ever feel
You're so
there.
ghetto. I love it.
And she's just like, it's just like kind of going back and forth with her about that. And then she was basically saying how her brother was like, he's a cop, and he was like, it's okay to go for him. And I'm like, well, why is it okay for him? And she's like, because he has a gun. I'm like, oh, because he's going to use his gun if something happens? Like, or people are afraid of him now. Like, I was just like, you're all, like, that's this type of shit I'm talking about. Like, you should get slapped for that. But we're on a plane. Like, so I was just like, okay, I'm just going to digress and go to the front after I speak my mind. But it's like that kind of stuff. Like, you don't even notice that you're being ignorant and racist with what you're saying. You think that we're just talking about, like, your safety and like, oh, you being you being white woman and like walking in a black area and people are gonna come after you. Like, don't nobody care about y'all. That's the problem. No, we don't give a damn about white people. Like, I just tell my friends this, but sorry, not that's rude, but I was just telling my friends about this yesterday. Just kind of like, if we were separated but equal, like, I think that black people would be way better off. And also, like, if we ever had like, areas, the most popping area would be the black area, and the white people would still try to find their way in that area, because ultimately we are what makes you you. So I think diversity training probably.
That's great.
Most likely.
How about more black people in the company? Is that something?
Oh yeah, I guess diversity within the company as far as like hiring more black people. I mean, I didn't even, there's some, yeah. It's like it's funny because the black people they hire for Alaska are usually not really black. Sometimes it seems, but yeah, it's more black people. I think always more black people is always good.
What do you mean?
Or just more diversity in general, not just white people, but like Spanish, black, Asian, more.
And why do you think so? Do you think they have the way to do that?
Do I think they have a way to do it? Wait, say that again?
Yeah, you can hop on in 15 minutes. That's cool. I'll send it to you. Yeah. Just text me your Gmail. Text me your Gmail right now. Bye.
What was you saying now? You were saying, is there a way that they can do that or get that?
Yeah. What do you think the best strategy is for them to do that?
Well, I mean, I don't really know how you do diversity like hiring, but maybe have more diverse people, on your, on like your borders. I mean, on your like your what is it? Like your advertisements, and I mean, I think they try to do as much as they can, but I'm like, also just make the company seem less white. I don't know how to do that, but it's a very white company, and I don't know how I would explain that exactly, but maybe have like more flight attendants that not white go out and like do like to recruitment fairs. I don't. Also, maybe
why can't you do that for them?
Because they don't pay me for that.
Well, don't you?
And I don't care about the company enough.
But I'm just saying, Link, wouldn't you be the person, Link, if you were him, you'd be like, yo, I'll be a diversity recruit person. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would.
Like, you gotta like go to them and be like, yo, this is how this is gonna go down. You're gonna give me an extra $50,000.
Because they're not gonna think of it.
Yeah.
No, yeah, that I feel. I guess my thing is just like I don't really care about the company enough, and I'm kind of ready to go. So I don't even want to do anything more with that. Now, I think if I really was like, oh, I want to be a flight attendant for the rest of my life, and this is like my job and like my life, then yeah, I would probably go deeper into that kind of.
Lincoln, talk to this young man, please. He's not gonna listen to me. The Negro they know is better than the Negro they don't know. Am I right, Lincoln?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I get also what he's saying. This is not what he wants. It ain't
listen
his
to him.
passion.
You don't know.
So
you
he don't want.
It's not. My heart's not in it. It's like I don't care about the company at all. Like, I'm ready to go, actually. But I get what you're saying, because I mean, I was gonna run for like one of the boards and like to be on the committees when it comes to like our rules and what we get and like what's fair and not fair. But I ended up not running because I was like, I have school and I'm trying to get out of here, not be stuck here. So
Right.
yeah.
So I get that. They do need to find somebody, but what Chip is talking about is finding that opportunity where it is, striking while the iron is hot, making the opportunity for yourself, even though it's not your passion, you can still opportunize off of it,
Right, I
capitalize
get
off
that.
of it.
Like, oh, let's start a position like a diversity recruitment officer, and I will be
Right.
him. Just
And all you
Yeah.
gotta do is just be like,
Yeah.
okay, I spend 1 week in Atlanta, I spend 1 week in DC, I spend 1 week in I spend 1 week in just spend your weeks at the college.
No, that's actually valid. I wonder if they I actually wonder if they have a diversity
They
officer that they
don't.
could.
They don't,
No,
dog. You was supposed to be
but
thinking that.
I bet you they have a diversity vice president or some, or a vice president that's over it, even if it's the human resources VP. Is supposed to be looking at equal employment opportunities and all of that shit, and that is not,
Right.
because it ain't nobody's.
Look, I'm gonna look. Alaska Airlines diversity offer. Let me see what pulls up. Nobody. It's gonna watch it. Hey, watch it be you. They don't. You don't even know it's shit.
Yes.
Watch it be you and shit. Oh my God. Oh my God. They have a diversity inclusion statement.
Oh, do they?
Oh my God. All this shit is like veterans and non-veterans. They don't have nothing but the Negroes.
Right, because that's their focus.
And this is 2019. I would have put that shit. Sorry.
Well, and also because like what I was telling you, Chip, that people don't want to rock the boat, so nobody's gonna say nothing. Nobody is challenging them.
Yeah, especially with flight attendants, they don't want to rock the boat at all because that's another thing with flight attendants. It's just like they think that like the little bit of rules that we do get, the little leeways that they do give us of like, oh, well, at least you get free benefits, so we're not gonna pay you as much. They're like, oh, well, at least we get free benefits. I'm like, no, but you still should get paid. The benefits is a part of the job.
Right.
So it's like little stuff like that. And I like, that's a lot of that with the flight attendant girls, especially the women, because like even the men, all of them, they're just all very like complacent because they're all very okay with like,
they don't
we
want
just
to
wanted the flight benefits. Like they didn't want the money. Like they don't really care about the money. They don't really care the fact they're sitting on a plane delayed and not getting paid. Like it's little things like that I'm like, yeah, this shit ain't right, and I should be getting paid for every single dollar I am timed on for. Like I sign in for, I should be getting paid for. And so that's why I was gonna join the committee to talk, like to do that. But it was just like it seems like it's a revolving door because only so many people care like that, and then the other people just like, I'm happy with what I got, and I'm senior, so I got a lot of money coming from me.
Why you mussing masses feathers
Pretty
with
much
your diversity shit?
Exactly, and I'm over
go
there
away
like,
from here.
NASA can go off the plane, so like NASA nothing. So it's just like that's why it's very hard for me because I'm like that's not my mind. I'm not a complacent person, and I'm very proactive and like it's just like that's why I get the fuck out of there because it's like
you're not a part of the Black Employee Business Resource Group, Berg.
Probably not. I don't like I said I don't be involved in this company like that. I got my friends that I talk to. I fly when I want to, and that's it. Like I go to work when I have to, and as soon as I land in a city, like if my friends aren't flying with me, I'm meeting up with my friends that are in the city, and I'm moving on, and I go back to work the next day, and I go back home. Like I'm not in all the groups and all the Facebook chats and all. I don't care about that stuff. Like it's not what I care about. Honestly, it's just a means to an end, really, with benefits.
Whose house are you in now?
My mom's.
Where does she live?
In Cambridge.
What part?
On McGee Street in Coast.
Oh wow, that house. Does she own the house or she rent?
It's my grandmother's house.
Oh God, you know what that means? That house worth a lot of money now.
Yeah, it's worth like $2 million.
Yep.
Damn.
But we ain't selling. We renting.
No, that's right. That's right.
No, we just need to rent this place out, and we need to get out of here.
What? It looks good. It looks like you kept it up.
Yeah, I mean, they got it redone a little bit, just a little, but they're about to, I think, redo the whole thing.
Yeah. Just have some Harvard person living there.
That's exactly. There's like a house upstairs too, so it's like 2 apartments.
Did you make sure they put everything in your name?
Well, that's the thing. So I'm trying because I'm like, you can give it to
gotta
me.
get them to do it. I got my mom. My dad's never doing it, but my mom did. My dad.
Where's their house at?
My mom. They used to have a house in Cambridge. They sold it for real cheap 20 years ago. Now it's like worth $1.5 million. But
yeah, the houses out here are really expensive.
Yeah, but now they sold it for like 260. They bought it for like 20. They sold it for 260, and now it's worth 20 years later 1.5.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
So my mom has a house in Randolph, and my dad has one in Mission Hill. The Mission Hill one, I bet is worth like $1 million.
Oh yeah. Mission Hill is like
Yeah. And
my mom lives in a dirty Dolph.
Yeah, my mom's house is worth. She said now it's like worth 550 in Randolph.
Oh wow.
Bought it for like 225 or something.
Mm.
And then she bought the land on the side of it, so she has.
Oh, that's smart. So she could build a house.
The acres. So we're trying to figure out, like, me and my little sister trying to figure out how to like off Dawn, my older sister, so we can have that. They're trying to figure out how to off our older sister so we can have the property.
Man,
damn, that's crazy.
So we're trying to make sure she eats a certain kind of potato salad at the cookout.
Right? The special salad.
Yeah. Joe, jump on this call, okay? For like 5 minutes. I sent you the link. Hello?
You talking to me?
No, I'm talking to Joe. Joe, can you jump on that link real quick, okay?
Oh, okay.
I got an assignment for your team from Elizabeth that I gotta have. I have 5 people on the phone talking right now. I just need you to get your piece on this. Okay. Jump right in on it. Lincoln, Joe's about to jump on.
All right. I'm just sitting here sending my session recordings to the students. So I ain't doing shit. I got the football playing in the background. My Rams are losing.
Oh my God, Link, I've given up. I'm just giving them some videos to watch and just do some discussion boards.
I'm trying so bad.
They like revolt. They revolted. So I'm just like,
right.
You guys won.
Right. I'm like coming up with all this good shit. They like, we don't want to do that. We don't like this. We don't want to work together. Like, hey, we gotta have contact time. So y'all gotta do it. Like, no, we hate each other. This person
doesn't do work.
Right. This person won't talk to us.
They're
I'm
snitching,
like, you know what?
They're snitching on all each other.
Yes. So I'm like, man, but I'm trying not to give up. I'm staying. I'm sticking in there. I hear you. That was me last semester, but I'm trying, man.
Joe.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Yo. Oh.
Hey.
Joe, say hello. Say hello to Lincoln. You know Lincoln. Say hello to my cousin D.
What's up?
Hey, how's everyone?
What's good?
How's
Jump on your face, you punk.
I'm hard.
Joe. What the hell are you in, Joel? What the fuck is that in the back?
I'm not at my house right now.
Where are you at?
I'm at Faith's house. Remember Faith.
Joe, you on your big computer?
No. Well, I only have my laptop.
Show my cousin Darius what you do. Hold on, D. Look what he does.
Let me see. I gotta make a new desktop because still gotta send a bunch of notifications out. Let me move this over here. Okay.
Oh God, hold on.
You just disabled screen sharing.
No, I might have just the wrong one. It's not what?
You have your screen sharing disabled.
How do I disable it?
At the bottom. There should be some type of options for participants.
Did it.
Participants share screen. Okay.
It didn't tell you the number on there.
So I don't know. Can you guys see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So general gist is
Oh yeah, I
this,
didn't do it. Sorry. Hold on.
there's quite a lot that I do itself. I guess some of the general focus would be in virtual production.
7
So
4 7 3 4 2 5 1. 7 3 4 2 5 1.
if I could show this right here, because this is the project I'm working on. So in just I guess a simple way of putting it.
Wait, did you make that background? Is that yours?
No, this is not a background I made. Art is not my forte. 2D art is not my forte.
Oh, where'd you get that background from? That shit's dope.
So on Steam, there's an application called Wallpaper Engine. This isn't really my default one. This is actually one I use. I'm sorry, I'm trying to open up
Austin, that's Joe, and that's my cousin D, and that's Lincoln.
What's up?
Hey guys,
Austin's
Hey, guys, how you guys
up in that CMII. As you, Link, Joe, you met Austin before.
Hey.
Remember that meeting with David Cheshire?
Oh, the 3 students.
Yeah,
I remember. So like there's multiple ones. So like this is usually the one I have on my desktop. You can shift and change them. As you can see, they're animated desktops, which you don't really get. So it puts a little unique factor when I'm at meetings, because everyone else has their regular Windows display and they see mine. Like, oh, that's some cool stuff you got there. Like this is the one I always like.
Dope.
But push away from that. So what I do is virtual production. It's a lot to explain. I won't be able to explain it all right now because there's too many sections going into it, and I am a little tired. I've been hiking all day, but I'm gonna show up a little scene I had made for a short I'm doing for a game that I'm playing with my friends. So this scene is basically so this scene is an example of some of the work I do. So each of these characters I had created using a CC3. You can kind of get a few good close-ups of them. Very detailed. Actually open it up with the lighting is regular. Very detailed characters. Part of the production I do is to create virtual characters. In this case, this is just a guy created in CC3, which is the engine I use for creation. And then they're all animated. I also do animation. They're all animated through.
Oh, that's. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all.
They're all animated through iClone, which is what I use for my animation. So if I play this, I turn off the time dilation to something a little 0.1. It's gonna move pretty quick, but not too much. As you can see, it's a slow motion scene, so it's gonna repeat itself. But basically, this is a little homage because I play D&D. Well, I don't even play the tabletop. I only play the virtual D&D. So I've never.
Oh, I didn't know you had a virtual one.
Yeah, there's one called Baldur's Gate 3, which came out.
What's it called?
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3. Okay.
It's an early access right now, but it's gonna be reached. It's only available for PC right now, but it should be reaching the console market and basically the whole world possibly next year. But for the time being, PC guys can jump on it. But there's a lot that goes into this. It's hard to explain most of it. So like with example, like every single object in here itself is a tailored object. So like this brick right here is a placed brick. that I made to create the scene of this cave coming in here. These dragons over here. These are actually from Sketchfab. I play them. These guys are basically just regular little Drake dragons. That's not some slime effects going on to them. Tongues screaming at these guys. This guy's about to, you can kind of tell this guy. I did the facial animation on this guy. He's like, yeah, like, bro, I'm gonna take you out, bro. Right. And it also goes into some of the this is probably gonna fly over the head a little bit, so I'm gonna try to explain it. But basically, this also goes into like you can see in these different views are actually different the different graphics going into
To make the one.
Yeah, to make this character. So like if we were to like go over to like this metallic, all the metallic objects of this scene, hair actually has a little bit of metallic into it itself. It's just something in the engine itself. But you can see all the metal objects are in white and all the non-metal objects are in black. And then I go back to the regular scene, which I've got a full screen because it kind of lags it. If I go into to my regular scene, I actually simulate the environment. So I've also simulated all the cloth in here. So let me actually play this at regular speed. It's gonna look weird. I'll play this at regular speed. So you can see, the wind and everything is just their clothes bellowing in the wind. His elf hair flowing in the wind. His little clipping right there I need to fix. His going in the air, and his are not on for some reason. I don't know why his are not on. Well, I guess they're not made. I guess I could show you a little look into what's actually going on. So like again, this might be a little going over the head a little bit because I should explain what I'm using. This is Epic Games Unreal Engine. It's free. I should also add everything I'm doing in here is free. The assets I've created in here are not free. This is part of a pipeline, so this is another application I use to bring them into here. But like I'm just trying to make his clothes actually flow. So I'm just gonna activate a cloth paint on here. I'm gonna switch this to a gradient. Make sure I'm doing this right. Alt, Control. Okay. So deactivate, activate. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna painstakingly paint this over across him because I want this to gradiently come up to his side, and I'm just gonna try to keep it on these triangles. So we've all taken algebra and geometry, so you know that these triangles are basically where the basis of this graphics comes from. So you can see all these things are made up of individual triangles in here, and that is used to basically differentiate where this object is in the graphic world, because all this is math, which is being translated over to something visual, which we see. So I'm gonna do this real quick. Should say I'm a proponent of doing experimental things when it doesn't need to be, and you can kind of my engine's lagging a little bit because I have ray tracing on. You guys might have heard the ray tracing technology. It's just getting out to the mainstream world because the technology wasn't there. But basically, it allows you for unlimited light bounces on whatever you're working on. So you can have something like, you can kind of see on his armor. You can see how it's kind of like glistening a little bit because I don't have the light settings inside here aren't as good. Let's see how this. All right, that gradient kind of went over the way I wanted to, but I don't like that line right there, so I'm just gonna switch to my brush and fix some of that. Looks like a 60 maybe, and change this to a 2. Well, it's definitely not 60. It's 20. There we go. 10. 10 is 5. So I'm just trying to see exactly the values it assigned here, because what I did here was basically apply a gradient value. So anything below that line that I just marked would become a cloth simulation, and everything above it becomes like a hard simulation onto the character. So now that I've done that, I can actually deactivate this. I'm going to save my project. I'm going to switch this out of lit because this thing's trying to render ray tracing in the background. And then I'm going to apply that closing data I put on this guy. There we go. Some of the actual physics bodies are actually a little too small for them, so I'm going to increase the size of those. So it bounces off this stuff. Nice. Yeah, it's not that small. It's only registering his muscles, so it's not actually looking at the armor. So I have to do a little bit of adjusting here. I think that might actually work. So now if I come over here in the scene and play it again, you'll have his cloth going on too. You can change the dilation of 1 so you can kind of see it from the same representation I showed it before. But there's some of his cloth simulation now. Now so that's how you do like a little cloth thing right there. But there's a lot more to that. So like the particle effects on this guy's hand, he's casting a spell. You know, this is what's going on in the particle effects world. This is a completely different world than what it was the other one. These all integrated in the same engine itself. So like, I know that's gonna be like an hour explaining that, so I'm not gonna do that one. But yeah, each of these characters are part of virtual production world. And crazy thing about all this is not just, it's crazy because this is a game engine I'm doing this all on. So like if I came over here, it's not in here. So if I came over here, and I just added like a third person. You can see that I can now like come over here and like play in here. So this is me walking around these guys, because this is all a game simulation itself in a sense, with a lot of components. So I'm focusing more on the film side, so that's why it looks better than usual when you're playing with the games themselves. Or it actually looks like the level games are coming out today. But this is me controlling this guy right now. So now I'm gonna just jump off this cliff into there's a level bounds over here for some reason.
All right, Joe and Austin, I need y'all to do this interview real quick. You guys ready?
Interview.
Okay.
All right, ready?
I'm about to head out real quick.
All right, thanks, Steve.
I gotta finish my essay. Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
All right. So these are the two questions I gotta say. Both of y'all just answer these questions. Take like it should take like 1 minute each for each of your response. What was your reaction after George Floyd and protests of Black Lives Matter about race and color in our society, Black people's society? Go ahead. Austin, go first.
Well, initially, of course, there was like a shock. There was a shock factor. I was appalled. I was really, really deeply frustrated that something like this is still going on and still happening, but I was not surprised. I was not taken by surprise because in Black folks, we're, as being Black men in America, my family, we're raised and taught about, relations with the police and, like that a policeman, if you get pulled over, my parents taught me personally, speak with, manners and politeness and try not to instigate anything because police are hyper aggressive when it comes to dealing with Black men in small situations that shouldn't escalate to what happened. I mean, my response, that's probably the best way I could put it.
That's excellent. Joel, your turn.
So you said my reaction to what happened to it?
Protest. What was your personal reaction?
Well, it goes. It's we've been protesting the same thing for a long time. What came through me was how is this finally the breaking point? You know, what my reaction was, what I had to not analyze what caused this one to be the breakthrough, because this happened. I'm from California. This happened during the LA riots. The same exact shit, right? The person didn't die, but it's the same exact thing, and it's going on all over America at this point. And when I saw the protests coming together for this, and I thought about what were the keys that put us into a position where we're actually able to protest and actually see the problems behind it, is because, I mean, look at The Office. It's something which is endorsed, and I feel like what that did to me was it kind of opened my eyes up to, I need to be more involved, because politics is something I never really wanted to put myself into, but politics is pushing a lot of what's happening in America right now. Mm-hmm. And the thing about politics as well is that it's influencing media, and media is the biggest influence on American people. Wars are no longer fought with guns; they're fought with the country's own people. If you can turn your own people against them, you never have to fire a shot. I mean, Sun Tzu's Art of War, you know. So when it comes down to me, I try to look at the basics of things, you know. And I have to say, the reaction to it was, I have to say, what happened afterwards is where I reacted to. The initial reaction was, once again, we're going down the same route of forgive my language, but it's necessary bullshit with a police officer killing an African American. It didn't have to happen. And it's not just African Americans, with white people, it's with Mexicans, with Asians, you know. And I feel like polarizing it over race is a problem. It should be polarized over the people causing it, you know.
Cool. The second question is about your company. What company do you work at, Joel, and what company do you work at, Austin? And what was their reaction?
Well, I work at a recording studio, Astro Studios, in Midtown Atlanta. There really wasn't a reaction from the studio as like at all, really anything notable.
Okay, that's good. Joel, yourself, what was it noticed in the? I don't know, but that's good. That's a good question. Joel, how about your company? I'll just put you more in the CMII family.
Okay, so if I had to say CMI, I can't say anything because I wasn't there. COVID had struck and everyone was kicked out. So yeah. I got nothing for CMI. I could speak for my companies, but I got nothing for CMI because I wasn't there.
Which one do you want to speak for?
I'd have to probably say Actor Capture itself.
Okay.
So it affected us. So we had a couple jobs in LA, but with the protests going on and with COVID itself, there was no safe practices with the protests, and COVID itself was a huge risk that the production studios we had cannot afford. So a lot of the production itself was actually switched off. Basically, it was no more. You know, we're gonna have to do a pause, and that alone hurt the revenue because that was a 5-figure job every month. We were pulling in, and that just cut it because of the events that happened. And it wasn't just the George Floyd, but I will say that was definitely an influence on the decision that was made.
All right, what is your company's reaction right now to, are there any different, like, co-workers, upper management, are they doing anything differently because of it?
Oh yeah, a lot of the people moved away from the areas where it was so prevalent. I mean, I work with a lot of Caucasian people, and then all of a sudden all these witch hunts for white people were going off. You know, because you're white, I want to hurt you. And it was I'm gonna get away from these people because that's not logical. You know, hurting someone just because of their skin color, you're no different from the people hurting you. So you a lot of people actually moved back to their homes or got away, especially in Atlanta. They wanted to stay away because they felt it was unsafe. They felt like it was going to be a race hunt just because they were white.
How about you, Austin?
In that sense specifically, there was no significant change. It's a really small company, and yeah.
Just some questions. Did anybody's artists or any artist music reflect any of that over the last couple months?
The baby. What was that song?
I don't
When
know.
he was on the
I'm
floor.
asking Austin, not you. Be quiet.
Oh, I was asking Austin too.
I talk about the people he work with.
Oh, my fault.
Even amongst our clientele, there really wasn't.
Don't
a response.
feed Austin no word. Don't feed him his words, Joel. Let him answer his damn own questions.
But even amongst our clientele, there was nothing really notable to that. You know, dealing with that specific event. That like no notable response. Like, I mean, of course, in the popular culture, we saw artists like the Baby and Lil Baby, and Lil Baby had just finished recording his album in probably about a few weeks before it happened, like a number of weeks before it happened, and he was doing that at our studio, and he made some political stuff. Yeah, I got to record Lil Baby.
Stop name dropping.
Yeah.
Stop name dropping. Get that link.
Yeah.
Name dropping. All right. What do you think BIPOC and other minorities currently express here at the companies? Do they correlate what's this is going on in society? So do you feel your company is going to do anything because of this?
Well, I know. So I'm one of the founders of the company, of my company, and I know one of our main goals is we go off the talent, because we've worked in so many jobs where it's this, this person, I know this person has a skill, but I don't know them, so we don't want them. Or, because I've been in workplaces where there's a very huge lack of diversity, right? And that's because it's the people running it are just going for the people they know, right? And one of our main goals is you have to show the skill and merit. You jump in and do the work. I feel like that's it's important, at least for companies nowadays to do, because pushing, and sometimes it's not even like they purposely do it. It's like something that's I mean, it goes back to systematic racism, something that's just accepted. And it kind of bleeds into even personal companies, just decisions from companies they work for, decisions they have to make for clients who are bigger than them. It's a lot of factors that go into it, but we try to ensure that those factors don't influence our decisions.
All right. And the last question is, what areas do you think the best interest areas in improving your company's interest, image, and equity, diversity, and belonging and inclusion? And if you don't want to answer that question, it's fine, because it's just like it might be too new for you guys.
What areas need the most improvement?
Yeah. Do you think there's any areas improvement around belonging and inclusion in your area regarding Black people?
Yes. Black people is a big. I was just talking with one of my closest friends. A big thing that is a problem, I feel like, especially at least in Georgia State, is that there's not a lot of African American role models, and a lot of African Americans. I know a lot of people who have come to the building who are like. I'll give an example. A huge portion of Georgia State's African American population are in some type of music program because they only see Black people in music. When they come into my building, they look at my building and they say, "Oh, this is cool. I really want to do this." I'm like, "How can we have it?" It's like, I didn't know it was a thing, you know. And it got me thinking, how do these people know what this is a thing, but my own people don't, right? And when you look at it, there's no one pushing to say, hey, check this program out. Hey, look at this. You know, you have the opportunity at this. It's more of, oh, I see my people doing that. That's what I should do. And it's subconscious. It gets into the subconscious, where that ideas like that manifest, right? Because I remember I was never looking towards the industry I'm in at all. 0%. You know, nothing. I literally came across it walking into the wrong room at the wrong time. Well, I should say the right room at the right time, with the right people in it, and here I am today. So I feel like just outreach to tell them that there's options.
And how do you want to end this, Austin? What is your thought on that?
I think what Joel speaks about definitely resonates with me. I work in the music industry. It's a very Black industry from the bottom to the top. There's a lot of Black execs, and I meet Black folks in pretty much any position, A&R artist, sound engineer, producer. So in the city of Atlanta specifically, I wouldn't say that there's necessarily an issue with integration and Black representation, but in society outwards, outside of just music, I would say that I've seen a bit of what Joel's been speaking about, but I'll just ditto that because.
Thank you very much. You're both going to help me get a good grade on this paper that I have due by 12.
The 12 already?
Yep.
Oh, it's 30 minutes still.
Class. It's in Elizabeth's class.
Man, I'm taking the L today, man. I was supposed to do an art project today, but I couldn't bring my soul to do it. My soul said.
Joel and also Austin, I want to make sure you guys exchange information. Did you guys do that?
No, not yet. I'd be very happy to.
Sure. I'll give you my email address. In addition, I shall also post my cellular device. That is not my email address, whatever that is. That is my email
And
address.
Joe, when you're in the studio, when can he come by to see you? Are you gonna be there Tuesday and Thursday this week? Or no?
I will be. But I will say we are very, very busy right now. We just got a Facebook grant, which is $75K, and I'm taking the lead on the AR development for it. So I will be very locked down this coming week, and we have to end this place up. Brennan wants this done by next week. So Candace came with me with one thing, and Brandon came with me with another. So I just got to figure out how to do both of them at once.
Right. Are you going to
for $10 an hour?
What'd you say? How much?
For $10 an hour.
Yeah,
that's a lot. All my money comes from my companies. So what I do here is basically for the school and get people going.
Are you going to send me my 2 videos? If I send them today or send them tomorrow, what time are you going to do download my 2 videos?
So I'm not in Atlanta. I'm in Ohio right now. So I'll be back in Atlanta at 7 p.m. tomorrow.
All right.
I meant to get them done yesterday, but.
All right. Do I need to resend them or I don't need to resend them?
I still have the links to both of them.
Thanks. All right. Goodbye, everybody. I got to write these grants up. Say bye, Link.
I'm gonna text and email you, Joel, right now. I'm about to text you.
Sounds perfect. I'll be standing by.
Thank you, guys.
Right.
Mr. Johnson, George.
Gentlemen.
Thank you.